Welcome to our U.S. briefing show. Today, we're diving into the Kashmir crisis where the U.S. is noticeably absent in mediating between India and Pakistan, leaving regional tensions to simmer without much diplomatic intervention. President Trump's focus on unilateral moves and strategic partnerships has created a power vacuum, making it harder to contain the conflict, especially with shifting alliances like Pakistan's growing ties to China. Next up, global reactions to U.S. tariffs are stirring up quite a storm. Countries like China, Canada, and Germany are expressing concerns, criticizing the U.S. for protectionism, while talks with China remain tense and uncertain. Despite hints at possible trade frameworks, no concrete deals are in sight, and the world watches nervously as tariffs threaten to disrupt international markets. And finally, in space news, China is pushing the boundaries with lunar exploration. Using advanced radar, scientists are hunting for moon water ice buried deep beneath the surface. While promising for future lunar bases, the evidence is still inconclusive, and extracting this moon water remains a tough challenge. Please continue to stay tuned for more details. CNN reports that President Trump's response to the India-Pakistan conflict has been notably passive, reflecting a broader reluctance to engage in traditional diplomatic crisis management. Unlike past U.S. administrations that actively mediated Kashmir disputes, Trump's focus has shifted away from global leadership, favoring a strategy of economic and military power projection that manipulates smaller nations for American advantage. His limited involvement, exemplified by vague offers of assistance and a lack of international coalition building, underscores a significant shift in U.S. foreign policy, especially as the world's geopolitical landscape becomes more fractured and complex. The article highlights how past diplomatic efforts, such as Jimmy Carter's peace accords or Clinton's intervention in Yugoslavia, involved years of confidence-building diplomacy, an approach Trump shows little inclination for amid ongoing conflicts in Ukraine, Gaza, and now South Asia. The shift is further emphasized by the diminished U.S. influence in Pakistan, which has aligned more closely with China, and the reduced capacity of Washington to exert pressure on regional actors, leaving mediating efforts largely to regional powers like Qatar and Saudi Arabia. Yahoo US underscores the turbulent landscape of global trade amid Trump's tariffs, which have sparked international criticism and retaliation, especially from China. With tariffs reaching up to 245% on Chinese imports and reciprocal measures from Beijing, negotiations remain unresolved, and no concrete trade agreements have materialized. Leaders from Canada, China, Mexico, and Europe have voiced concern, condemning the tariffs as unilateral protectionism and calling for negotiations based on mutual trust. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney, for instance, described Trump's tariffs as unjustified, while Germany's outgoing Chancellor Olaf Scholz condemned the measures as damaging to the global trade order. Despite these tensions, some nations like Mexico and Australia have opted for restraint, avoiding retaliatory tariffs and emphasizing continued cooperation. Japan's Prime Minister has expressed concern over tariffs hurting investment, but maintains that ongoing negotiations are necessary. Overall, the international response reflects apprehension over the economic fallout and the absence of clear pathways toward resolving the trade disputes, illustrating how Trump's aggressive tariff strategy has strained global relations and complicated diplomatic negotiations. South China Morning Post reports that China's Vice Premier He Lifeng exudes confidence ahead of critical trade negotiations with the United States, emphasizing the resilience and openness of China's economy. During a meeting with Abu Dhabi's investment head, he highlighted the positive start to China's economic year, the growing societal confidence, and the country's welcoming stance toward foreign investors. These remarks come amidst escalating tensions, as the U.S. has slapped hefty tariffs on Chinese goods, triggering a slowdown in trade and market jitters. Despite the high stakes, analysts warn that the path to a meaningful U.S.-China trade deal remains arduous, emphasizing that the negotiations are driven more by geopolitical motives than purely economic interests. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent signaled a focus on de-escalation rather than a comprehensive trade agreement, while Chinese experts remain skeptical about the U.S.'s trustworthiness, suggesting that only limited, localized compromises might be achievable in the near term. The South China Morning Post also details China's innovative efforts to locate lunar water ice, a resource that could revolutionize lunar exploration and the so-called moon race. Using China's advanced radar systems, including the Sanya Incoherent Scatter Radar and the FAST telescope, researchers have detected that water ice at the moon's south pole is likely scattered, buried deep beneath the surface, and making up no more than 6% of the topsoil in the region. These findings, published in Science Bulletin, could influence future landing site selections and the design of China's lunar research base. Experts like Hussein praise the approach for its creativity, though the existence of usable water remains uncertain. The moon's extreme environment complicates extraction efforts, and some scientists, like Alfred McEwen, remain skeptical about the abundance of water ice, emphasizing the need for further investigation to confirm its practicality as a resource. Meanwhile, the same publication reports on the recent chaos at Newark Liberty International Airport caused by a 90-second outage in the air traffic control system, raising alarms about the fragility of U.S. aviation infrastructure. The outage, which temporarily severed communications between Newark flights and controllers in Philadelphia, led to delays, cancellations, and trauma among staff, spotlighting long-standing issues such as understaffing and outdated equipment. The FAA is undertaking immediate measures, including upgrading telecommunications, replacing old infrastructure, and increasing staffing, to restore reliability. U.S. airline executives and officials acknowledge that the system's capacity is overstretched and call for comprehensive reforms, including flight limitations and modernization efforts. This incident follows a recent mid-air collision near Washington's Reagan National Airport, intensifying calls from lawmakers like Chuck Schumer for a full investigation into staffing shortages and systemic vulnerabilities, questioning whether recent government cuts have exacerbated the crisis. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.